Hey everybody, Mr. Morton here with podcast. Today we're answering the question, what is a school dashboard? And what I'm going to do is walk you through some of the important data here for TMS. And part of it is I want to show you how to access the data, how to access any school's data. And then, and again, we'll go in, fairly deep on how TMS is doing in terms of our public school accountability system. And so the best way to get started is pull up Google, or probably any search engine would work, and you can type in CDE for California Department of Education, dashboard works. So let's go ahead and let's see here. This first one, I know I'm probably not getting the whole thing, but the first one that comes up is good, California dashboard. And then once you get there, okay, so you can, it comes right here. We can go to middle school or something like that. We can even put in Temecula middle there, but let's see what we get there. Okay, so what this is going to give us is all the middle schools in Temecula. There's one more, I think Bella Vista is actually located in Murrieta, but it's in our district, so if you wanted that one, you'd just have to probably type Murrieta. One thing that's fun for me is to just look at all schools. So you can also look at Rivers, or you can go middle school in Riverside, because that'll give you every school in the county, unless I'm incorrect here. Let's see what's going on here. Middle school near Riverside. Not sure why I'm not getting anything. No results found. I think I'm, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I misspelled school. That'll work. Okay. Now I'm going to get them all. 70 results. So you don't get every single school in Riverside County, but you get the vast majority of them with 70. And I think they're grouped by district in here. So our district, again, is somewhere down towards the bottom. And again, we'll just go ahead and click on it, Temecula Middle School. So now you know how to get to our dashboard or to any dashboard of a school in Riverside County. I suppose it works for other counties as well. And so what you'll see here, I'm going to scoot that up just a little bit, is this we call these indicators. And so the indicators, what they do is show how your school is trending. Back in the old days, and I know everyone's probably eagerly looking at these indicators down here, but in the old days, 15, 20 years ago, we didn't have indicators. We just got a score. It was a 3-digit number, and I worked at schools that were usually in the 800s here in Temecula, so you might have a school that's 850, and you could compare that to any school in the state because every school had a number. So if you were an 850 school, you were better than a 750 school, but not as good as a 900 school, and so on. And so it was really about comparison. What we've transitioned to with the dashboard, and the old one was called an Academic Performance Index number, or API, with the dashboard is comparing how you did last year or to the year before. And so, how is your school trending? So if you have high performing students, are you having them continue to make gains, or are you flat, or are you declining? Likewise with, students who might be struggling, are you moving them in the right direction? So there are schools that could be, where the average student isn't performing quite as well as a student is at another school, but their indicator looks better because at least they're moving them in the right direction quicker than the other school. So we'll talk about that a little bit when we get into these. So there's 5 indicators right now for middle school. High school's a little different. Elementary's probably a little different too. We're working on an indicator for science, but we don't have that one yet. So chronic absenteeism, you can click on that and you can see that at TMS last year, we had 18% of our students absent more than 10% of the days of school. So that's pretty typical for schools in Temecula and across the county, across the state. We got that to decline below 20%. We actually had a red indicator last year. So we went from a red indicator to a yellow indicator. We're not going to talk too much about these subgroups down here. We can save that for another podcast when we have a little bit more time. Let's go back to where we were here. Went too far back. Suspension rates, this is generally a pretty safe school. Typically we suspend about 4% of our students, so we don't like to suspend, but when students violate the ed code, usually for fighting, but rarely, for bringing a weapon to campus. And usually that looks like a knife. We don't have anything too serious here. We've had kids over the years bring drugs to school. It's, again, pretty rare. But, those types of things will get you suspended. What we try and do to reduce our suspension rate is teach kids to make good decisions. That's the best way to go about it. Once you've committed an ed code violation, our practice is to suspend a kid to make that behavior stop. And again, down to 3.5%, so you can look at decline 0.5, so you can see that it probably was 4% last year. We went down to 3.5. Overall, it's low. We're heading the right direction, so we got a green indicator. Every principal's happy with green indicators anywhere you can get them, and so that's a good thing too. So let's go back up. We've got English learner progress. So English learners, we tend to think about our newcomers, students who recently emigrated here from Mexico, from China, from Korea, from Russia, from the Ukraine, from a lot of different areas. But it's also students who've lived here a long time, and we've just never redesignated them as fluent. So our newcomers tend to be what we call EL levels 1 and 2. And they're in a specialized English class for a 2-hour block so they can learn English. That makes sense. Once you get to level 3 and 4, you move out into general ed classes. We support you and keep an eye on you and make sure that you're making good progress. And so that's what this is about. How well are we doing with our English language learners? We typically have somewhere, 40 to 50. But again, that's wildly variable because, as you can imagine, people who have just moved to the United States are often, settling in, and you might see them go from Temecula to Hemet or Murrieta or something like that as they get settled in. Our English learner progress is actually quite high. Our students are doing great. 65% of them are making great progress. The reason it's a yellow indicator, not a green or a blue, is because that went down. We had done so outstanding the prior year where 85% roughly of our language learners were making excellent progress. We had a blue indicator. Since it went down a little bit, we went down to yellow because, again, it is about trending. Then we've got English language arts, very proud of that indicator. When you click on this, you'll see that our average student, that's what that blue bar means right here. Our average student is 22.9 points above standard. That's an excellent score. We maintain, so you have to make 3 points of progress to be considered making progress. 2.5 is considered maintained, although that is positive. And, we're happy with that. We'd love to get it to blue. There are no schools in Riverside County with a blue indicator in language arts. It's just a very difficult thing. You either have to have very high-performing students who are maintaining that very high status, or you have to have high-performing students who are making big gains. And so we have high-performing students. We made a small gain, so we got rewarded with the green indicator. We're certainly happy to have that. Scrolling back up, our last one, our math indicator, we'll click on that and go back down here. This is one we're really proud of. We're the only school in Riverside County. Out of the 70 dashboards that I've analyzed, we're the only school that has a blue indicator. That's incredible. And what we see here is our average student is above standard. Yes, it's 1.5 points above standard, but for any school in the state, it's pretty rare for your average student to be above standard. And that showed some significant growth from the year before. And again, we couldn't be happier with the performance of our students, of our math department, for making that happen. We tend to, as a school, look at our academic indicators first, language arts and mathematics. Absenteeism is very important, so is our suspension rate and English learner progress, but usually that's reporting on a subset of students. When you think about all 1,000 students at TMS, well, they're all taking language arts, they're all taking mathematics, and to have a green and a blue indicator in those is, shows some academic excellence. Again, if you were to assign a number value, let's say 0 for red all the way up to 4 for blue, if you took every school in the county, we'd be the only school that had, 7 points, so to speak, in those academic indicators. So that's a good sign of how our school's doing. Let's see, if we scroll down here, you see a little bit about our demographic information. You can see some more breakdown of these things. And again, I didn't want to go too long today. I wanted to do about a 10-minute update. So I'm getting close there. So yeah, I would just encourage, parents who are interested to go in here and start clicking around. You can get more details. And what we do as a staff is we look at these and we use it to set goals. Obviously we celebrate our success, but often we're tending to look at, oh my gosh, 2 groups were scored in red. Who are those groups, and how do we get them up into the green and into the blue? And again, this is really, as a principal, how you monitor your school. Kind of, this is the first step. Then you start, digging deeper. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. And again, like I said, I think it's always fun to go in and look at other schools and see how they're doing in comparison. And yeah, I love talking dashboards. So if you ever have any questions or suggestions for me, by all means, reach out. All right. Thank you for listening.